fancy time, and it's time to head to France. I mean Bretonnia. Mainly to look at two of the Knight Orders, the Errants and the Knights of the Realm. Mainly because Bretonnia only had really 3 army books, and there's not much difference between them. Yeah, Bretonnia had a rough time in 7th and 8th. But before we get to the Knights themselves, we need to talk about a funky thing when it comes to Bretonnia. Lance formation. Now, this has changed and exists in all of them, and we'll use this one as an example with 5th edition. So as you can see, you start with 1 at the front, then 2, then 3, and so on. The leader is always at the front, whether that be the champion, or if you have a hero, they will then lead, and so on and so forth. So let's say you had a character, champion, standing musician. Leads are right at the front, then the champion stands in the 2nd rank, and then musician in the 3rd rank, and then so on and so forth. Now, casualties get removed from the centre of the bat rank, and despite the unusual rank sizes, they do still give rank bonuses. Now, in close combat, as you can see, the ones on the outside will get to strike the enemies, and if they get charged in the flank, the enemy does not get a flank bonus due to how the lance formation works. Now, there is some slight issues of this, as they can only reel, not turn due to this formation, and they also can't lap around to flank an enemy unit either. So yeah, that's the very brief summary of the lance formation. Some advantages over basic rank and file, and other times, might be good to just use the basic formation instead. Anyway, let's talk about the Knights, and we'll start with the Knights Errant. So they're 32 points each, movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 7. They also have Bretonnian war horses. Movement 8, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 0, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 5, and covering units of 5+. So, equipment-wise, lance, shield, heavy armor, sword, and barding for the warhorse. Get used to hearing that. Now, Musician Standard actually have no extra cost for Bretonnian Knights in 5th. You can just have them, because they must always have their Musician and Standard. So yeah, that's kind of nice. 1 Knights Errant unit in the army can have a magic banner. Special rules? Well, they have the Knights Virtue. This means they do not take panic tests caused by fleeing or destroy units that are not Bretonnian units. Well, Knights specifically. The peasants, yeah. Peasants go away, they don't care. If a ground knight unit runs away, then yeah, the Knights Errant will be going, well, that's concerning. Also, their horses do not get movement penalties due to banding. Otherwise, yeah, they can use the lance formation. So, that's the Knights Errant. What about the Knights of the Realm then? Well, they're 39 points, and actually the same stats, bar their weapon skill 4 and strength 4. Equipment-wise is also the same. In fact, the only change between them and the Knight Errant is that each unit of Knights of the Realm can have a magic standard, not just 1 unit of them. So yeah, Knights of the Realm are very much just an upgrade to the Errants in 5th. But yeah, strength 4 and weapon skill was nice, as well as having as many magic standards as you want. But yes, not much difference between them then. Now, I'll also briefly talk about the Lady's Blessing. This is not specific to the Knights yet. So, if you chose to use it, you gave up your turn 1 to the enemy, and you also had to have no allies in your army. However, while you have the Lady's Blessing, enemy war machines only walk in a 4+ when trying to fire, and this is where it becomes specific to the Knights. Enemy ranged units trying to shoot a unit of Knights need to roll a 4+ for each model before they can even roll to hit them. So yes, let's say you had 20 shots, well, you'd roll half of them weren't 4+. Cool, only 10 shots are being fired, and then you have to roll a hit. Yeah, it's kind of nice, that. So that's the initial mounting, now into 6. Now, the lance formations had a slight change. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, it's now just ranks of 3. The characters and such are on the front, bar damsels, who get to be in the 2nd rank to protect them. Also, every knight in the flank of the lance gets a strike on them the turn they charge, and casualties still get removed from the centre. So yeah, it got simplified a bit. Now then, Knights Errant. They're a core choice, not a shock there. Now 20 points a model, and units of 5 to 15. They are movement 4, Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leisure 7. And let's look at the war horses again. Movement 8, weapon skill 3, weapon skill 0, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leisure 5. Equipment? Well, their sword's now a hand weapon, but other than that, it's basically the same. They can have a champion, the Cavalier, for no additional cost with +1 attack. Nice. But they do have to pay for the musician and standards now. The musician is 7, standards 14, and one unit can have a magic one up to 25 points in value. So, still got the Knight's Vow, which means ignoring panic tests caused by Peasant's Duty rule models now. However, they've gained a new one, Impetuous. This means they must take a leadership test if they make a charge, but you didn't make them charge. If they pass, you control them as normal. If not, well, they're going to try and charge that thing. Also, their horses are pure breed horses, so no movement penalty from the banding. Yeah, so they decided to give them a little bit of a change there by meaning there's a good chance they might go and charge that thing you don't want them to. Now then, back to the Knights of the Realm. They're mandatory now. Yep, you always need one unit of them in your army. They are of course a core choice. They're now 24 points, and compared to Knights Errant, +1 weapon skill and leadership now. Don't have that strength bonus anymore. They are coming units of 5 to 15. The equipment is the same as the Errants. Their champion is the Gallant, who is free and +1 attack. Musician is now 8 points, standard is 16 points, and any unit can have a magic banner for 25 points. Special rules, they've still got the Knight's Vow, and pure breed war horses. So this is where the two start to become a bit more unique. The Knight Errants were cheaper, but yeah, as said, they could charge something you don't want them to, and Knight of the Realms were now an option you had to take, and pretty much the standard option now. Also, Army Rule Rise, they got Lady's Blessing, granting them a 6+ ward save, or a 5+ ward save against attack strength 5 or higher, as long as they don't flee or refuse a challenge. The enemy also now gets to choose who goes first. But yes, 7th edition and 8th edition. Yeah, it was rough being a Bretonnian player around these times, as they got basically nothing. They might get the occasional, like, here's a slight change to the army list with, like, the infantry war list, but, yeah, that was really it. So it wasn't really till the, old world where things changed. And, yeah, let's talk about the old world. So, Lance Formation has gone back to being rank 1, second rank 2, 3 and 4 for the Lance Formation. Now, they have this until one of the following can happen. The first model can't reach an enemy in combat, say due to a flank charge. They make a disordered charge, or they are charged by an enemy and can't or don't perform a counter charge. After doing so, they just rank up normally and become a normal unit. Other than that, not much of a change, but they do get +1 combat resolution bonus for being in the Lance Formation from now on. Also, Lady's Blessing, still around and basically hasn't changed from 6th edition. So then, back to the Knights Errant we go. 19 points. And they really don't want you spamming these guys anymore if you were doing so previously. Why? You can have one unit of Knights Errant for every Knights of the Realm unit you have. Yeah. So, stat-wise, weapon skill 3, bless skill 2, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, d 7, and units of 5+. The horses' stat lines change a little, basically only having the bits that matter, with them being movement 8, weapon skill 3, strength 3, initiative 3, attacks 1. Has the equipment changed? Technically, yes. And what I mean by technically is, they've still got lances, hand weapons, heavy armor, shields, and the departed warhorse, and the warhorses now have iron-shod hooves. Yeah, they have technically got a hand weapon now, but yes, I like the fact it's an equipment option. So, Gallant, Musician, and Standard are now all 6 points, and they're allowed a magic standard up to 25 points still, and the Gallant still +1 attack. Special rules? Well, Lance and Blessing are here. They're still impetuous, but also got First Charge, Close Order, and Swift Stride from the basic rules. The warhorses now get to reroll Charge, Flee, or Pursuit rolls dice with a natural result of 1. And the Knight's Vow is still around, and yeah, sod the peasantry again. So yeah, not a massive departure from the 6th rules for them. Now, we have the Mounted Knights of the Realm. Why have you got mounted added to your name, I wonder? Also, they're mandatory again. So, 24 points, units of 5+, weapon skill 4, blitz skill 2, strength 3, toughness 3, runes 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 8, and horses same as the errants as usual. Is the equipment the same as the errants? You betcha. Musician, Standard and Champion, who is now the first knight, are 7 points, but the first knight has something interesting. Still +1 attack, but up to 25 points of magic items. Very nice. Also, magic standard for 25 points again as usual. What about special rules? Well, still got the Blessing, Close Order, Finest War Horses, Knight's Vow, First Charge, Counter Charge, Lance Formation, and Swift Stride. So yeah, the add-on of a magic item for the champion is nice and helps them stand a little bit more, but again, they're still just your standard core knight unit. And yes, that's the Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm. So, how are they, hi there, who are you? Oh, so this is why the other unit had mounted in their name. Yeah, say hello to the infantry version that got added. So, stat-wise, they're the same as normal Knights of the Realm, but, movement 4, because, of course, no more horsey. They still have the core choice, of course. A base equipment, heavy armor, shield, and a hand weapon. They can take a great weapon for 2 points, or lose the shield and have the great weapon cost 1 point. Nice, interesting payoff there. The standard musician and champion are now 6 points, but otherwise the same with the magic items and magic banner. And what about special rules for them? Well, Blessings of the Lady, Knight's Vow, Close Order, and Furious Charge. Yeah, not as many when you consider they don't have the horses anymore. And yeah, so Games Workshop obviously looked at Bretonnia and went, they need a heavy infantry unit, so here you go, Knights of the Realm on foot. And yeah, they're alright for the role, I suppose. But yes, that is the history of the Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm. I do like the fact in 5th edition it's like, okay, here's Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm, go nuts. 6th edition, okay, we want you to take 1 Knights of the Realm unit, but then you can go over as you want. So now it's like, look, you can have 1 Knights Errant unit for every Knights of the Realm you take. We know the Knights Errant are cheaper, but we want you using Knights of the Realm, okay? Honestly, they're both solid core choices for the Knights of the Bretonnia forces. But yes, we'll probably look at the other Knights later.